Well, there you have it. A 1-0 loss against Bournemouth for Norwich City this afternoon. Welcome back to Norwich Talk for another match reaction. Now, I say another match reaction, I mean the first one of the season from me. I've finally been able to sit down and watch Norwich City play a game in the league. God knows I regret paying £10 to watch that. And I don't mean that in the fact that it was a diabolical performance. I mean that in the fact that I've had to pay £10 to watch us sort of just about lose 1-0, which isn't really that fun, isn't that appealing to me. I don't know if I'll be doing it again, but an overwhelming sense of frustration consumes me currently. This video, isn't straight after the game. I'm not going to lie to you in terms of the fact that I feel like an hour or so, I've not even checked the time, has passed, because I'm just sort of stood here thinking of what to say about that game. It was very weird, very sort of, I'd say lethargic. I don't know. It was just really weird to watch. It didn't seem like a Norwich City with a proper plan. It seemed like a Norwich City that was sort of panicking that the initial plan wasn't working, and that concerns me a little bit. Not enough to sort of start calling for anyone's heads, but it does concern me. I won't lie to you. The sort of seed has been planted of concern. No doubt that will sprout sometime soon. Life as a Norwich City fan is a very sort of unpredictably predictable one in terms of the fact that there'll be some panic at some point. But yeah, it genuinely is a performance that concerns me a little bit. I think we'll start with the lineup in terms of the actual game itself. It was a very weird lineup. I'm just going to sort of put it out there. Todd Cantwell, Buendia, I'm not interested in that at all, to be honest with you. It's very boring at this point. The whole sort of transfer speculation is boring to me, to be quite honest with you. It should be to you as well. I think it is at this point. As a Norwich City fan, you sort of get used to your best players. I say a Norwich City fan, as a football fan, you get used to your best players being linked with other clubs all the time. And I'm just fed up with it at this point. I cannot to speak about it at all, which I have done a little bit, but we'll move straight on to the actual lineup itself and the formation. Now, the 4-1-4-1 formation is something that Daniel Farke has tried before. It's not worked. He tried it again today. Didn't work. How many more times is he going to try it? I don't know. We know he will at some point. But for me, it's a formation that doesn't work for Norwich City. The whole idea for me, now I'm not some sort of tactical mastermind. I can't give a tactical analysis to save my life. The guys at the Revere end can do that though. But for me, a 4-1-4-1 suggests that you're going to be solid in the middle. You're going to be very compact. Most of your chances are going to be created through there. And they weren't. Norwich City were not very... They're very lightweight, I think is the word I'd use, in the middle of the park. The actual goal itself came from a player coming from the outside, inside, and tucking it to Tim Krul's left. Or right, I can't actually remember. It was a very tidy finish, by the way. Very good goal, that. But it's come from a central position, which isn't good enough. Norwich City weren't good enough in the centre of the park. Now, naturally, in a team with Lucas Rupp, you look to sort of prod him and blame him. But no, for me, the guy to blame today is... I say to blame, like, you should blame individuals. For me, that guy is probably Kenny McLean. He was very lightweight, didn't offer much. Now, I'm someone who, on this channel, has sort of constantly stood up for Kenny McLean. And I was going to say I probably still will, but I don't know if I will anymore. He's frustrating me a bit now. Now, this whole idea, this whole argument, I should say, against Kenny McLean sort of starting is the fact that he's not a specialist in regards to a specific attribute, a skill, a trait, whatever. He's not got one thing that he's good at. You look at a player like Mario Vrancic, who is the alternative. He's a brilliant passer of the ball. He's got excellent vision. Kenny McLean is sort of nor here nor there in terms of being good at one thing. But my caveat to that was the fact that he's a bit of a specialist at everything. Today, he was the opposite of that. He didn't really seem to do much right. In terms of the actual goal itself, it came from McLean sort of just dallying about. I'm really getting fed up with that part of his game. It's always annoyed me. He's just too soft, and I don't get it. It's really annoying. I'm sick and tired of seeing it in terms of just... maybe it's just with Norwich in general, but it was too soft, and it really annoyed me. Still annoys me, probably annoys you as well, it's fair enough. But it's so needless. Like, it's such a stupid way to concede a goal. We saw it last season against Watford, didn't we? From the restart. Now, I know bloody Danny Welbeck scored an overhead kick, but it's not good enough because it's too lightweight. But yeah, that really frustrated me, and the whole 4-1-4-1 thing just didn't work at all, did it? Which is why the first half from Norwich in general was just average. And I sort of asked myself this question in my head. I'm going to ask it to you, which is, in terms of an average performance, is that now, or should the standard be that an average performance is poor? Because Norwich City are a team who are going to want to be contending for promotion back into the Premier League, whether that's playoffs, automatics, or winning the title itself. Is an average performance now sort of not acceptable? That's my question to you. I don't really know at this point. I don't think it is, especially after that one specifically. It's frustrating me. I'm sort of I don't really know how angry or frustrated I should be. I'm allowed to be. Well, I'm allowed to be as frustrated as I want, but I don't want to be unreasonable, if you know what I mean. But that's a little question that I'm going to throw to you, as one that I've been thinking about. I'm not sure of an answer, to be quite honest with you. But that was the sort of the question I was thinking about across the first half. Now, in the second half, I think we put up more of a fight, didn't we? We were a bit more direct. We played a bit more through Ollie Skipp, who was absolutely brilliant today, wasn't he? Ollie Skipp was absolutely sublime. That was the first time I've sort of had a chance to sit down and watch him properly, and it was a joy. His tackling was good, his vision was good. I wasn't really expecting him to sort of play them balls over to Max Aarons as well as he did. I always thought he was a bit more of an enforcer, a bit more of a tackler, a bit more of a ball winner, but he seems to have that ability to find a pass quite well, which is really promising for such a young talent, because you know that you can sort of work on that element of his game and develop it. So that's really promising for me. But the second half again was just sort of the first half, but a little bit quicker. There was no clear-cut chances for Norwich City. We had 64% possession, and how many chances have we created? Very few, which is frustrating, because the whole point of this Norwich City team is that we play this football where we create chance after chance after chance. We can't defend. Don't think we'll ever be able to defend. But the whole point is that we caveat that with the sort of the chance creation stats. But there were no clear-cut chances today. We ended up with Adam Eder, Timu Pukki, and Jordan Hugill on the pitch. Pardon me, three very decent strikers, and we didn't give them a chance. We didn't really give them a sniff. That bothers me quite a lot. I'm not going to lie to you, that does frustrate me. Now, I genuinely don't know who to blame for that. I don't know whether to blame the manager and his tactics, the sort of the stubbornness to stick with a 4-1-4-1 or to go with a 4-1-4-1 in the first place when it's not worked before. I don't know whether to blame Poeta and Onel Hernandez for not doing anything down either wing. I don't know. Onel Hernandez wasn't very good today, was he, by the way? He's very clumsy with the ball at his feet, which is sort of very unusual for him, because he's actually usually quite good with the ball at his feet. It seems to sort of stick to his feet. His dribbling is very, very good. But today he seemed clumsy. He sort of just kept losing it. Really weirdly, might I add. I don't know what's going on there. I think that maybe it was just an off game for him, but it was sort of frustrating, because naturally my instinct when Hernandez gets the ball is, I think, right, go on, drive at him, get past him. But he didn't do that today. It's harsh to pick out one player in terms of who didn't play particularly brilliant, because I don't think anyone was particularly brilliant. But for me, Hernandez was sort of sticks out like a bit of a sore thumb in terms of just constantly giving the ball away. I don't know if that'll be an unpopular opinion or not. I've not seen anything on Twitter about Onel Hernandez, but I just sort of throw that out there in terms of this idea that I don't think he was particularly brilliant. But there's not much else to say, really, is there, to be honest with you? Norwich just didn't create anything. There's no doubt for me that Daniel Farke can go and learn from this. But the important word there is he can. Will he? I don't know. Only time will tell. It was a very frustrating loss today. I'm fairly bothered by it. It's a difficult thing, really, isn't it? Because I want to be level-headed. I really want to sort of be reasonable, but it's hard not to be, I keep using this word, Christ, frustrated after that game. I'm fairly bothered by it. I don't know what sort of the plan is from here. I think we definitely go back to a 4-2-3-1. We definitely miss Buendia. I definitely think there's a case for wing-backs. I was sat there thinking, right, I wouldn't mind wing-backs right now, because Javi Quintilla and Max Aarons love to get forward, but there just doesn't seem to be that sort of cover and protection at the back. But I think I'll save wing-backs for the next preview video. But I just don't know. I think we need to go back to a 4-2-3-1. We definitely missed the 10. The 10 is sort of the glue in the middle for me. It gives Norwich so much more structure and makes us look so much more balanced, which I think is a key word there. I don't know if I've mentioned that already. But with the 4-1-4-1, there was no balance. It sort of seemed like literally two banks of four, two lines of four. And as soon as either line was exposed, that was it. Norwich then looked in danger, which seemed to be a few times as well, especially with the midfield 4/1. I don't know. Norwich just sort of looked really weird today. It's just sort of, they literally played in lines, which again, I'm no tactical mastermind, but that's not brilliant, is it? To be quite honest with you. But I don't know. I'm sure Daniel Farke will sort it out. That's probably all my thoughts on the game. Very keen to know your thoughts in the comments down below as ever. So make sure you let me know. If you could like the video, that'd be brilliant. If you could subscribe, that'd be brilliant. I think we've got Derby next, so I imagine the next video will be a preview to that game. Just a call quickly as well to any sort of Norwich/Norfolk football fans. Get yourself down to Waldes Park on Tuesday. Dereham play Cambridge City in a fairly big game, and my sort of attention is being more drawn towards non-league at the moment because there's no, there's fans and there's no VAR. I know there's none of that in the Championship, but football at the top level seems to be dying, or just falling flat on its arse at this point, which isn't brilliant. But there is an alternative. So Dereham Town, Waldes Park, make sure you go down. So yeah, that's just about everything for this video. So until next time, we'll see you again very, very soon.